The Alabama Farmers Federation and the Alabama Farmers Cooperative proudly present Simply Southern with your hosts Jim Allen and Mary Johnson.
Good morning and welcome to Simply Southern. I'm Mary Johnson.
And I'm Jim Allen. You've heard many times on this show about the career opportunities in agriculture. Well, today Samantha Carpenter and some high school students in Southeast Alabama are getting a hands-on preview.
Alabama is known for its timber industry. Today, we'll visit a pine tree nursery in Dallas County that provides seedlings for forest landowners. And Sydney Phelps will show us how Bonnie Plants is working vigilantly to protect the environment.
But first up this morning, look out, Punxsutawney Phil. There's a new shadow sleuth in town. We'll have more on Albertville's seasonal psychic after the break.
There's no such thing as downtime when you own a farm. This is your land. You tend it and try to get the most from it, no matter the weather or time of day. It's been that way for generations. And for generations, your local quality co-op store has been there for you, with a full range of agriculture supplies and services, from feed to fertilizer, seed to grain storage, and the right hardware for any application. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
The blessing of Alabama agriculture is more than 3 meals a day. It means independence from foreign nations, freedom to pursue other jobs and activities, conservation of natural resources, and preservation of family values. For 93 years, the Alabama Farmers Federation has brought together the men and women whose work fills our plates and fuels the American dream.
Seriously?
Have some respect. Pick it up, man.
Did you just litter?
Take pride in your school. Pick it up, man.
Clean it up, dude.
Besides keeping your campus clean, adopt a mile with roadside cleanup. Attend the next Coastal Cleanup Day or pitch in on the annual Spring Cleanup campaign. Make a difference by picking up litter and...
Don't drop it on Alabama!
The way we communicate is always changing. My friends and I text a lot when we can't be together, and even when we are. As an alpha agent, even my customers text me. It's just the world we live in, and it works. It's another way we provide great customer service.
For the best agents in the business, call Alpha.
Just try texting an 800 number.
For over 100 years, Americans have sought solace from the frigid winter season in the form of a large rodent. Groundhog Day is a beloved national tradition which has spread from its Pennsylvania origins to celebrations all across the country. But we've been known to do things a little bit differently here in the South. And for over 20 years now, Albertville has spurned the prognostications of Punxsutawney Phil for a more familiar woodland native.
Early morning radio appearances are proof that if the second day of February was called Jim Allen Day, we'd never get an early spring. Fortunately for us all, it's not. Every year, the small Pennsylvania town of Punxsutawney watches its population of just under 6,000 swell to tens of thousands, all to see this guy. As morning radio and television hosts across this great land wait to see if America's most famous woodchuck will get out of bed, Albertville's WQSB has chucked the chuck for a local alternative.
I don't know of anyone who does a possum that I know of. I know some other areas have different animals. I think this is the only possum. We decided years ago that groundhog knows nothing about southern weather, that we needed something, so we had a contest on the air and everybody picked a possum to be the official weather predicting animal for this area. Then they named it also SandMountainSam, since this is the Sand Mountain area.
For a critter notoriously blind to oncoming headlights, it turns out possums are pretty good at spotting their own shadow.
This is the 23rd year for Sam. He's only missed one time, and that was back in '93, the big snowstorm. So far he's only missed one, 22-1. That's pretty good record right there.
You have your mother's eyes.
SandMountainSam is definitely not a morning possum. Luckily, he's found himself a charming sidekick. Meet Albertville's very own Possum Queen.
I'm Kaylee Davis, the WKIS.
Since the groundhog, they have a groundhog queen, we decided we needed a queen, so we decided to have a little contest, and we had about 25 entries this year, so I had a lot of interest. We had one lady who was a deer hunter, and she took her picture next to a dead deer and sent that one in. So that one scared Sam a little bit, so we decided to go with a different one instead.
Would you hold the possum?
Well, after seeing it today, probably not. Those teeth were a little scary.
So with his record of 22 correct predictions on the line, SandMountainSam's prediction for 2016 is...
Sam did not see his shadow, therefore we will have an early spring, which is awesome.
Which concurs with Punxsutawney Phil's prediction this year. But never mind him, the rest of the nation may be hung up on all things groundhog. But up here in northern Alabama, the media knows where to get the southern perspective.
A lot of the TV stations will contact us during the day, and they'll want information on what happened to SandMountainSam, and you'll see some of the Huntsville stations. Channel 48's always good about contacting us, and they'll want to know what happened to Sam and what was his prediction. Then they'll compare that to the groundhog and see how well he does.
Which may be giving some of Sam's distant cousins some new career ideas.
Do you plan on going and being the queen for other animals now?
Well, maybe if they offer it, maybe I'll try to get it.
Albertville's not the only place experimenting with groundhog alternatives. At the Audubon Zoo in New Orleans, T-Boy, a resident nutria rat, has been pulling groundhog duty for nearly 30 years.
That's a long time. So did T-Boy agree with Sam and Phil this year?
He did.
Okay, good to know. And then with Sam, did he seem excited that there's going to be an early spring, or?
Sam bit me.
Oh, gosh.
So I don't think so.
It sounds like maybe he just wanted to stay curled up somewhere warm.
That's exactly right.
Coming up next, firm up that handshake, freshen up that resume, and is that a tractor? Samantha Carpenter takes us to a unique job fair when Simply Southern continues.
Alabama soybean farmers help fuel the state's economy. Soybeans are used to make clean, renewable biodiesel and are a key ingredient in feed for poultry, catfish, and livestock. Soybeans are used in dozens of products we use every day. But best of all, soybean farmers generate $258 million and more than 4,000 jobs for Alabama's economy, all while helping conserve our natural resources. Explore the power of soy.
Today's farming operation is more complex than ever before, with precision agriculture becoming an integral piece to farm management. AccuField provides precision agriculture technologies and site-specific management capabilities in a simplified and interactive format, helping you put all the pieces of the farming puzzle together. For more information, visit us at www.accufield.com.
Alabama wheat and feed grain farmers grow food, fuel, and freedom. Their harvest helps feed Alabama's multi-million-dollar livestock, catfish, and poultry industries while reducing America's dependence on foreign countries for energy and food. By combining their strength with farmers of other commodities, feed grain growers are fueling the economic growth of Alabama communities.
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
Nothing brings the family together like U.S. farm-raised catfish. American catfish farmers are dedicated to producing a premium, healthy catfish with a consistently mild, sweet flavor. Because we take as much pride in our work as you do in your cooking. From our family farms to your family's table, you can be sure you're getting the highest quality fish. Because your family deserves the best. U.S. farm-raised catfish.
If your idea of farming begins and ends with a tractor and a field, you'd probably be surprised at the wealth of opportunities available in the agriculture industry. For many high school students weighing life after graduation, that's often the case. This week, Samantha Carpenter is down at Landmark Park in Dothan, where students are discovering firsthand that there's a lot more to pick from in ag than just cotton and peanuts.
It's fair to say many of these students have seen a tractor before. After all, farming is a big business here in Southeast Alabama. Some of these young men and women come from an agricultural background. But for others, preparing for that next big step in their lives has them looking a little harder at this vital state industry.
I heard about FFA and I never really knew that much about it. I knew it was agriculture, and I got into it and I got really interested in it, and I was like, this is great. And this has been 3 years now I've been in FFA, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. And so now I'm looking towards maybe doing an agricultural career.
Today, these students are participating in Ag Career Day at Landmark Park in Dothan. By combining demonstrations in a field by industry professionals with a more traditional job fair, the event hopes to give students a better idea of the wide range of career options available in agriculture.
We visited a station that focused mostly on precision agriculture, where they're using drones and infrared technology to map fields for more efficient uses, both economically and environmentally. We visited a station that focused on forestry, wildlife, look at the forest industry from, again, an economical standpoint, but also from firefighting and things of that sort.
We were just talking about turf management, and I've never heard about turf management before, so this is the first time I've ever heard of it. So learning about that was really cool.
These demonstrations reflect the rapidly expanding needs of an evolving industry. Agriculture plays a major part in Alabama's economy, and preparing the next generation's workforce is a priority for educators.
One thing we're trying to get across to these students is that in order for us to continue to thrive as an agricultural community, we've got to have people who are more educated, who are more committed to developing these skills that they need in order to be successful. One thing that we try to push is the alternative opportunities in agriculture, where we focus on this technology. It's not being on a tractor in the field necessarily, it may be in a laboratory doing research. It could be with technology, laboratory, developing new technologies.
Students and teachers agree that talking about agriculture careers in the classroom is helpful, but there's no substitute for experiencing the possibilities firsthand.
To see something in action and to have a chance to talk to someone who works in that field, I believe is critical to the career exploration process. So to come out here, they actually get to put their hands on something, they get to see it with their own eyes, learn about it, and talk to someone who does it for a living. So that's really important for our students to be exposed to that.
I've heard of drones, but I didn't know they were used for agriculture, and they explained to us about how they use it for land surveying and different types of that stuff, and that was really cool to see. And then we saw it, and I was like, oh, and it made a lot more sense.
Deciding on a career path can be intimidating for students nearing graduation. Events like Ag Career Day not only open their eyes to the possibilities available in agriculture, but may prove a first step towards that next big step in their lives.
I was speaking to one of my students the other day who came to this event last year, and he chose his college based on information he learned here at the Ag Career Day.
I've already had them asking me if we can come back next year. Can I see this next year? And you know, another thing that's been really interesting too is I've had a few of the students interact with our experts that are out here, asking them, how do I get up with you? You know, I'm interested in this. If I wanted to learn more, how do I do that?
I've been looking for a long time now on what I want to do. I'm still not sure, but hearing the different types of careers and everything, I think I want to do something maybe with animals or with plants, but I'm not 100% sure on what I want to do yet, but this has helped a lot. It's just been a great time out here, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the day has.
For Simply Southern, I'm Samantha Carpenter.
This was the event's second year, drawing more than 300 students from 17 schools throughout Southeast Alabama. You know, the teachers were saying that their students loved it so much, they already have people asking about coming back next year.
Wow. You know, there's a lot available in agriculture, including what we do.
Exactly, and this is communications work, but still ag-based. And forestry is another thing that people often don't think about with ag jobs. But speaking of forestry, up next, we'll see how the towering pine trees that cover millions of acres in Alabama get their start as seedlings at ArborGen.
We believe a plant should be more than a plant. This one is. It's all you need for your garden to succeed. Because it's a Bonnie plant. It represents hundreds of varieties of Bonnie's quality veggies and herbs. But more, it's from generations of Bonnie people who are passionate about sharing their love of gardening with you. Look for this little Bonnie plant and a whole family of plants like it in your garden center. Bonnie plants, so you'll know how to grow.
It's been said, without hard work, nothing grows but weeds. This is certainly true in agriculture. At the Alabama Farmers Federation, we know success is not born of fancy words, grand ideas, or good intentions. It's a result of wise planning, bold leadership, dedicated work, and blessings from above.
For nearly 50 years, the electric cooperatives of Alabama have been giving young people an opportunity to visit our nation's capital, where they learn about the value of electric cooperatives and the importance of grassroots advocacy. Top students join with thousands of others touring monuments, landmarks, and meeting with their congressional delegation. The Rural Electric Youth Tour program. Just one more way the electric cooperatives of Alabama are investing in the future of our state.
Forests cover almost 70% of Alabama's total area, and a lot of those acres are planted in the iconic loblolly pine. At ArborGen, the Alabama Super Tree Nursery in Dallas County, workers are perfecting those pines through improved genetics.
Just east of Selma, the ArborGen Super Tree Nursery and Orchards covers 165 acres. Annually, nursery manager Larry Foster oversees the growth of more than 25 million pine seedlings, which will eventually cover Alabama's landscape.
An acre in the nursery would be about 600,000 seedlings, and generally you're planting about 600 trees per acre, so you can do the math there. If my math is right, that'd be about 1,000 acres.
Foster said his work is a lot like traditional farming because a crop of seedlings is harvested each year. The crop is planted in spring, cared for through summer and fall, and finally harvested or lifted in winter.
It's a long lifting and packing season here from early to mid-November till the end of February. The machine has belts that just lift the seedlings right out of the soil onto a conveyor. It's very gentle. The two things we're trying to do is preserve as many roots as possible and keep the roots from drying out throughout the process. Good root system is critical to the survival of the trees.
ArborGen supplies more than 100 customers with trees annually, from private landowners to large timber investment organizations. Since the 1950s, the company has strived to provide seedlings with superior genetics.
What we're looking for is fast growth, straightness, disease resistance, and lack of forks, because a fork is a degrade that will take a tree from saw log or pole potential back down to pulpwood.
ArborGen uses grafting as one way to promote these characteristics. In grafting, a wedge is cut into a large seedling and a superior tree cutting is inserted in the wedge. The company is also a pioneer in mass control pollination, which allows nursery operators to know the mother and father of the seedling tree.
We try to promote all these favorable qualities in our genetic work that we do with ArborGen. We've made a lot of progress. A landowner can get a lot more tons per acre growth now with the genetics that we have, and they also get a much higher quality product, much higher proportion of saw logs is much more valuable to the landowner when they harvest their timber.
Good genetics are important for forest landowners who plant seedlings knowing it will take 25 years for a final harvest. But they are also important for consumers who use wood products daily.
So many people now don't really know where all these products come from. They think the paper comes from Office Depot and the lumber comes from Lowe's. When you harvest trees, you're converting them into useful products that people need. You have the the economic benefit, but you also have the other aesthetic and wildlife benefits and just the satisfaction of having timberland. The real benefit of all this new genetics that ArborGen is working on is you can grow more wood on less acres.
ArborGen sells to private landowners, and we're a bit past the prime planting time for seedlings now, but next season you can check them out online at arborgen.com.
You know, you don't think about where young trees come from, but they're a crop and they have to be farmed like anything else.
That's exactly right. And ArborGen is not just that Selma location. They're actually an international company, so their trees are going all over the world and helping the environment all over the world. And speaking of the environment, after the break, Sydney Phelps takes us on a tour of the recycling program that they have at Bonnie Plants.
As an alpha agent, I know we start out protecting ourselves and the things that we cherish, but I just recently got engaged, and let me tell you, life is coming fast. So we want to protect the people we love. I can't wait to see what life brings. Alpha Insurance is for wherever you are in life, and for what's next.
For the best agents in the business, call Alpha.
What one thing can you say about your local quality co-op store? You can trust us. You get what you need for your farm, for your lawn and garden, and the safest products for your pets. We're locally owned and operated, and you can trust that we care about our community and the people in it. So if you're a raised bed gardener, a rose gardener, or if you farm hundreds of acres, the Quality Co-op Store has exactly what you need to get the job done. All this plus friendly, knowledgeable advice. Your Quality Co-op Store. There's one near you.
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
We believe a plant should be more than a plant. This one is. It's all you need for your garden to succeed. Because it's a Bonnie plant. It represents hundreds of varieties of Bonnie's quality veggies and herbs. But more, it's from generations of Bonnie people who are passionate about sharing their love of gardening with you. Look for this little Bonnie plant and a whole family of plants like it in your garden center. Bonnie Plants, so you'll know how to grow.
Hey folks, Sydney Phelps here with Bonnie Plants. Now today what you're seeing behind me is not your normal greenhouse or garden scene. I know we've shown you all sorts of beautiful things that Bonnie Plants has to offer and many ways of growing them in garden and even cooking different recipes with fresh herbs and all that. This is a story that's not told very often. However, it's probably one of the more important stories that we have. It's about Bonnie's ability to be sustainable and how we recycle and how we reuse everything. As you know, Bonnie uses biodegradable cups. Now these cups save thousands of tons of plastic from going into landfills by not using plastic containers because this is completely biodegradable. There's no transplant shock. It's easy for all gardeners, professional or novice. Now, sometimes what we run into is maybe we grew too much of a certain item. Maybe we have frost that hit our racks and we have to pick those plants up and bring them back home. Well, the thing about that is we get to recycle those. Now, what we do is when our plants come in off of the trucks, or if we have something that possibly got too big, or unfortunately the cold snap got it and we're not able to use it, we put it into a compost pile. Now that compost pile goes over a heat, we get all the water and the heat, and it basically breaks the material down into good organic matter. Now, you're used to seeing the product just like it is in these cups, but over time, that heat and that water will break down the organic matter and break down these biodegradable pots, and the plastic will release. Now, the machine behind me is a trommel, much like you see on some of the popular Gold Rush TV shows, but this is for plant material and plastics. What it does is when you fill the hopper up, it separates the organic matter of all of the soil and everything like that and the plastics. So the good matter gets to go off here in the back of a dump truck. We get to pile it up in a pile and we get to use that for multiple reasons. All of the waste gets used, and as you can see, it comes out the end of the trommel and drops right into our dumpster. So we're making sure that we're saving the most of what we have to go into the right process. Now, not only do we do this, but all of the flats that you see at the stores, we recycle and reuse those. They come back here to our facility here in Union Springs and also our other facilities. They take those flats, they sanitize them, they reuse them over and over again, to the point where the flats get brittle or they're broken or have a tear and we're not able to use them anymore. Then we basically take those flats, put them on pallets, and send them back to our manufacturer, who melt them down and manufacture more out of this. So it's a very limited low waste program. Now, of course, we want to make sure that everybody has the right gardening with this, but when you have this process, it leaves you endless possibilities. But like I said, this is one of the things that the story doesn't always get told, and we want to make sure that you understand how greener, smarter, and easy Bonnie is when it comes to sustainable gardens. To find out more about these processes, check out our website at bonnieplants.com or the app Homegrown with Bonnie Plants.
You know, Mary, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes at Bonnie than we knew about, it sounds like.
Absolutely, and it looks like they're saving a lot of things from going into landfills, but I know personally we try to grow stuff from seed in our garden, and everything becomes compost because it all dies during the growing season.
That's sad.
I know, it really is. But if you want more success than what we have in our garden, be sure to visit bonnieplants.com for growing tips, and then you can find recipes for what you've grown too. More information on the other stories we featured today is available at their websites.
For more information on careers in agriculture in your area, contact your local county extension office. They can be found online at aces.edu. Meanwhile, more information about agriculture in Alabama can be found at the Alabama Farmers Federation's website at alphafarmers.org.
And arborgen.com has what you need to know about the Super Tree Nursery in Dallas County.
If you missed an earlier episode of Simply Southern, you can get caught up at simplysouthern.tv.net. And we invite you to follow the show regularly by liking our Facebook page. Next Sunday morning, we'll visit the largest privately owned collection of Civil War artifacts in the country, and it's located right here in Alabama.
Plus, we'll see what benefits dual enrollment provides for high school students anxious to get started on their careers. Thanks for watching Simply Southern this week. I'm Mary Johnson.
And I'm Jim Allen. We hope you'll make plans to join us again next Sunday morning.
Simply Southern is a production of the Alabama Farmers Cooperative and the Alabama Farmers Federation.